It says we're live. Let me check on YouTube if that's true. Yay, we're live. How is everyone this morning? It says we have 4 viewers, 2 people in the chat. Say hi so I can say hi to you by name. I'm going to have my co-hosts introduce themselves. So first Grayson and then Sako, and then I will put up the Forest Room code and then we'll get the show on the road. If you want to say what you're working on today at the end of your intro, you can. It's not required.
Okay. What up, everybody? My name is Grayson Wild. I write with pride. I like navigating fantasies and warm ups of coffee. Today, I'm working on Scions of the Broken Banner and hopefully finishing a beanie that I started crocheting 2 days ago.
Ooh, I like that.
Howdy, neighbors. I'm dealing with a grandfather clock telling us it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voight. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those 2 things. In fact, I designed a tarot deck some years ago, and now I'm working on the tarot book to go along with it, which is like 1 part autobiography, 1 part art book, 1 part tarot book.
That's
so that
cool.
that'll be cool.
That's so cool. Okay, sorry. I was seeing your messages in the Instagram group. I always just show up at the last minute to my own streams backstage. Okay, working on waking up. Yes, it is the bat signal.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, let me. Crow is here. Hello. Forest Room code is Bravo 5 Golf November Mike Sierra Golf. It's going to be up here. I stayed up kind of late last night doing homework, so that was not fun, but now I have less work to do all week, so I feel better. I had a take-home test, and I did it last night. And my mom's like, "You had all week to do it, and you did it last night." I was like, "Well, it was all fresh in my mind, so like, why not?"
Why not? Yeah.
And I did it after 3 hours of building something that I didn't have to build for 2 more weeks. But it's like now that it's off the table, I can get ahead. So I'm like, did I sacrifice my sleep for it? Yes. Do I have any regrets? Not really. Because I've been really stressed about school, and I'm like, you know what? I'm ahead again. I'm good.
I mean, it's over and done with, so yes.
Hello, Tekia and Candra. So I have 4 Ko-fi supporters who are currently in chat.
Nice.
I need to film a video that's going up today. It's like last week. It's last week I prioritized my novel writing, and this week I prioritized school. I've been prioritizing school like all weekend and yesterday, and now I'm like, yeah, I should film that video. So I don't go 2 weeks of not uploading a sit-down video. Okay, I see people in the room. So putting this up so I don't forget.
Okay.
And in 3, 2, 1, happy productivity. If that means making yourself some form of caffeine and breakfast, so be it.
Okay, that was the end of our first sprint. Sarah will be right back. How did you guys do?
That felt good.
I worked on comic things. I should be working on my tarot book, but I worked on comic things.
Nice.
Welcome back, Sarah.
Thank you for taking over, Sako. I heard you asking people how they did. So how did you both do? I heard you. You worked on your comic and you were supposed to be working on your tarot book, but sometimes a different project just calls you. Grayson, what did you work on?
I worked on my fantasy and pretty much argued with my main character the entire time, so that was fun.
Do you outline?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when people are like, oh, I argue with my character, I'm like, are you telling your character like you need to do this because that makes sense? And then the character's like, no, or it's like that, but you actually have an outline, and then you're like to your character because they're doing the same to you.
Look, I have the outline, I have it written out, and the character's just going completely off track. I'm like, I don't want to do this, but then I end up doing it anyway. So it's pretty much what happened.
I've gotten to the point in my writing where if they start doing that, I can pretty easily adjust my outline where it's like, okay, maybe I need another chapter. It's never really fully off, knock on wood, because I don't need to put that out into the universe for like challenge accepted. But it took me like 4 books to get to this point. So and then also when I'm writing it, sometimes the pacing just was completely out the window, like it did for The Matchmakers, which is the last book I finished writing, and it hasn't been revised yet. So yeah, where it's like, I thought this was going to take 2 chapters. Psych, it took 5.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? The events are still happening, so I can't be mad.
I know those feels very well.
But I kept telling my alpha readers where I'm like, this is how much that needs to happen. I have no idea of how many more chapters you need to be waiting on because it keeps changing.
Yeah.
So.
And then when I revise, I have to go in and adjust the pacing.
Yeah. For me, my pacing is normally good because of the outline.
Same here.
And then the way I write it, where I'm like, okay, I'm changing the pacing because clearly, organically, the outline was a little bit wrong with how long I thought things were going to take. But it's normally like the biggest thing I ask my alpha readers for is like, what didn't I describe enough? Because I have aphantasia. So like, I've never had a complaint about not being able to really see things. Like in general, I've had a few things where it's like, can you explain this more? And I'm always like, okay, well, that's what I need to know. Or one time I think it was the second book in my sci-fi trilogy, I did actually end up completely changing what happened for a chapter. So I had character move from A to B, but then in the 2 chapters following, because I was alternating POV, they started out in the original endpoint, and I'd forgotten to change that. Like I'd changed everything else in that chapter to reflect the previous thing. But Regina was like, didn't he go here? Like, how is he still there? And I was like, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I posted the Ko-fi. I posted on my Ko-fi a locked post to give my VIP club members access to the live stream we're doing on Saturday in the afternoon. I do an exclusive one every month for them. And then I posted an event on my website to be like, hey, if you're not part of that, this is your deadline to join for this live stream. And these are the other perks you get. So consider joining. but I wrote that, and then the Ko-fi one got posted without a problem, but I guess I had the add event link open for too long. So it was like error. And I had lost what I wrote in the event because I was like, I don't need to save that because it's like, it's a minor thing. So I had to redo it. And that's why I was like, shit, I didn't have time to go to the bathroom before this sprint ended.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It could have been worse. It like after a debacle at the end of 2019, start of 2020, when I lost like a ton of backed up writing because of a corrupted flash drive and then a corrupted hard drive.
I had the same problem.
But I found out from Tom Fink from Glory Writes the Blues that it was actually probably not the fault of the computer or the devices themselves, but because I was on a cruise, which sounds like the bougiest thing I've ever done. And it probably was, and I never want to do it again because it wasn't as fun as promised. But he was like, oh, like I don't remember what he called it, but basically he was like, the amount of energy is so unreliable that's coming through that it fucks up your computer, which could then fuck up what was plugged into it. And I was like, oh, I'm never doing that again. And he was like, the way you fix it is, if you have the power strip or whatever, is that you don't use your computer while it's charging in those situations, but you let it, like, if you're not using it when it's charging and you have protection like that, it should be okay. And I'm like, should be is not good enough for me anymore. So I was like, I'm just not going to go on a cruise. Like, I know when I go to my cousins and my uncles' houses, my computer charges fine. I know when I'm at home and my mom's place, it charges fine. When I go to school, I know it charges fine, but normally I try to have it charged anyway before I show up. It's just like Regina is still mad about this situation for me. It's okay. I've gotten over it. I was in the middle of writing the third book in my first trilogy, and luckily I'd backed it up like in a million places, including Dropbox and the iCloud, even though I had switched to a non-Mac computer briefly. So like I still had that. So I didn't have to restart the novel I was working on, but I lost like the old draft of the book that I finished last week. But I still had the old outline because that was also saved in iCloud. Ooh. And I was just like, and then many years ago, I had started writing a few fairy tale retellings. And like, I knew that like, okay, they got pushed for one reason or another, but I'd been emailing some of the chapters to early alpha readers at the time. So like I had those and I'm like, they're all going to change now, but at least I have what I wrote.
A draft.
From the emails and the outline again. So I was like, it could have been much worse. Still wasn't fun, and I would have preferred it not happen. But yeah. So back up your work, people.
In 3 places.
Yeah, don't forget to hydrate, stretch, and back up your work.
Because I thought 2 places was enough. It was not.
Well, the funny thing is that people kept being like, don't rely on Dropbox and the cloud, because if those go down, you're screwed, which is true. But
which is true, but it goes down so infrequently.
It goes down so infrequently, and my physical backups were what corrupted. So it's like, have some in offline backups and have some in online, but you can't just pick one over the other like people were telling me. And I hadn't, but it was still like, yeah, learn from my mistake. Plural. There were, yeah, I didn't know about the internet, the energy thing though. So it's not like I ignored that. Okay, I'm quickly going to go through what people did, but actually, you know what? First, I'm going to put up the forest room.
Oh, okay.
Code so people can enter. I can actually close this because I wrote down what trees we're planting. Code is incoming. It just takes like 3 different clicks to even create the room.
Right.
And I'm like, I do this all the time. Can't you streamline this? No. It's like, do you want to invite people directly? And I'm like, no.
No, I want to
No,
make
like
it
it's
public
easier if
so
I just put
anybody
the
can
code up.
join. Yeah.
3, Delta, Sierra, Quebec, Whiskey, Foxtrot, Sierra, Golf. And what really bugs me is that for the military alphabet, I have to say Quebec the American way, because otherwise it sounds like Quebec in French. And people would be like, okay? And I'm like, no.
No.
It's like, America, you're fucking everything up. Okay, there was a bot, and Regina and Devin handled it for me. I think one of them like reported it and the other banned it or something. They were talking about teamwork. I don't worry about bots anymore because I have so many people who are mods, both in YouTube and on Twitch. So I'm like, oh, there's a bot. I know it got handled at some point. Like, I don't worry about it anymore. So Gabby and Stephanie had come in right as we were starting the last sprint. So hello. Regina was talking about how she's 3 hours behind me, and people were like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I would also still be trying to wake up. Regina's is normally always, first sprint is like coffee or whatever. Okay, I don't know how we got onto the Beach Boys, but the movie, I don't remember. The movie might have just been called The Beach Boys. But it was like about their lives. That was a good movie. And then if we're talking about other movies about groups, Jersey Boys is good. I enjoyed the musical better, but I think it left Broadway like at this point, maybe, I don't want to say a decade, but that might be correct. Time for Broadway shows don't exist for me because like I either listen to them frequently or I might have seen it like twice and I'm like, I don't know what year that was. So okay, Regina said her feed is 7 seconds behind. So if she did it, so if Devin destroys the bot, she then reports it or something. We're a tag team. Our name is Remove and Report. Thank you. Tekia expressed what I'm feeling. I love teamwork. Regina was contemplating her to-do list. A local friend told me that I must write a 3rd vampire book.
Which is an awesome feeling. Yeah.
So Regina has written My Vampire Bow, which I think is the first one in her collector series. And then I'm a really bad friend because I forgot the 2nd book in that series. Forget the name of it. Tekia got housework done. Natalie cut down over 25 emails down to 7. So that's great. Candra finished chapter 9 by writing 7 pages. Or at least something like that. I don't know if some of those 7 pages are now in chapter 10 or whatever, but awesome on finishing a chapter. I love that feeling. Stephanie made coffee because she's also in the same time zone as Regina. Checked emails, and now I'm going to write the next chapter. Awesome. LL Lunars, hello. You might be new to my channel, I think, unless you changed your username or something, but welcome. Got here 12 minutes ago. Changed 1 line of dialogue. Cool. Progress is progress. Leah came in. Regina says that my outlining method helped her. That's available at my Ko-fi shop, which is linked down below. Everyone's talking about what happened to all my stuff getting corrupted on a cruise. So my room with my mom was okay. And we did meet some cool people, but she booked the cruise because she thought that like younger people would be there for me to hang out with too. And that just like wasn't the case. So we went to the Canary Islands, so that was fun. And there was a trivia night that our whole we got assigned tables at dinner, and we would go to trivia night with them every single time after dinner. And it's like me being so much younger than everyone, like between all of us, we were pretty good at trivia. Tom Cruise does not appeal to me as a Scientologist. And for those of you who don't know, Scientologists are whack jobs who are cults, believe that psychology and psychiatry are the work of the devil, that we all have aliens who are controlling us that need to be cleansed from our body. The reason that they vilify psychology and psychiatry is because their founder got shunned for obvious reasons by those communities. So yeah, no. My mom's obsessed with, and now I'm forgetting her name, but I think it's a TV show. It also might be a podcast at this point, of someone who got out and interviews people who also got out. And like Katie Holmes is so much happier after she broke up with Tom Cruise and shit like that. So no, I hate that. Oh, My Vampire Wedding was the first. My bad. Okay, people are in the forest room, so we're going to start our second sprint. Put up the banner now, so I remember. Take this down. And in 3, 2, 1, happy productivity, everyone. How did people do?
Really good. I went back and corrected my outline.
Cool. I did slow work with my dad for sword work.
But like, what does that mean?
That means going through the motions for a sword fight so that, but you're doing it slowly with a partner. And that way the partners can learn like how to block, how to dodge, how to get in a shot.
Nice.
Yeah. Hi, ADHD writer. Hi, Naked Firefly.
I was researching the like, not average, because I kind of how do I say this? I was looking at book prices based on different age categories and the format, because I need to do that for my grad school final project. And then I'm making notes of them, but based on the traditional publishing and then what I know of indie publishing, I'm like, am I just going to really lowball it, like even underneath what traditional publishing does? Or am I going to do like the lowest that traditional publishing does? So it's, yeah.
Yeah, I get
The research never ends, but this is stuff that like I've done before for indie stuff, but I just like haven't thought about it in forever, because for my books, I'm just like $9.99 paperback, done. Don't do a hardcover. I'm just starting to do audiobook. So I asked my a narrator, I'm like, so for how long my book is, like, what would you
pay? Yeah.
And I kind of have an answer from what I just searched, but I want to know what her thinking is, because she's actually done it. And I can ask her for her reasoning versus just staring at Amazon and being like, I guess maybe. And then like I've never really paid attention to nonfiction prices, because I like,
they
if it's
vary.
one of the ones that hits the New York Times bestseller, normally I can count on a cousin buying it in hardcover or something, and then they give it to me. Or if it's like, most of the nonfiction I buy is like max $5.99, because it's a writing craft book that someone like indie published or something. So I'm like, have to research that. And then memoir, which I haven't read a ton of. It's like, is that priced like nonfiction? Is it priced like fiction? The answer is it's kind of like in between, which was my guess. But it was like, so there are just certain things where it's like I've never considered that I definitely have to do research for. And I didn't finish it. So I'm still doing that. But I did all the hardcover. I'm almost done with the paperback prices. So yeah, I'm about halfway done with the price things, and then I have to look up like stuff on Consumer Reports and be like, how much does this office supplies cost? And then I'm going to let my teacher tell me what the depreciation is on that shit, but at least I'll have like the starting value and can do that. This is still like keeping me ahead of the curve, but I'm just like, if I can do it,
knock it out now.
Like if I can do this research and I know how to do it, I'd rather do it rather than she's like, okay, now you can start researching, and like, which would give me 2 weeks versus the 5 I have now.
Right.
Okay, people are just chatting.
ITL Rest Lifestyle.
Hey, Tiffany. Awesome.
Nice.
I don't think anyone can sneeze for fun, but what are you studying for fun?
Sneeze for fun.
I just like the feeling, so I
tickle my nose with pepper all the time.
yeah. You know.
So this was trees and tarot. Are we going to do the tarot part?
Yes. I wanted to just get right into the homework, so I forgot the first 2 times, but now each of you can draw one. So we are planting Grayson's second tree, so why don't you draw a card, Grayson?
Yeah.
This stream initially wasn't going to be trees and tarot. I think that's also why I forgot. But then I was like looking at, both of you, and I was like, oh, you both do witchy shit. We're going to add that. But then I took my brain. I haven't been sleeping well recently, so certain facts have.
I mean, I feel you. I slept for 2.5 hours because I was up crocheting. I got excited. I was opening boxes and I found my box of yarn. And I was like, oh,
yay.
I got excited. And I was like, I should sleep.
It was early on, like it might have been like March or April 2020. And I found this YouTube channel of someone who like had never seen Buffy before. So they were reacting to every episode. So I like pulled an all-nighter watching a bunch of their videos one time. And while I was watching it, I was also, oh, I love that deck.
It's the sun.
What a beautiful deck.
Yeah,
what deck is that?
This is the Arcana Tarot. So there's literally an app. It's a game called the Arcana. And they have the tarot mixed into it. And they have these cards in the game. So this is actually in the game.
That's amazing.
They're very beautiful.
Yeah.
Love these cards. And everyone who played the game kept asking, can y'all actually make these cards? And they were like, we don't think people would be interested, but people begged for it. So when they saw people actually making their own, they're like, okay, no, we have to make official cards. So they did. And I bought them immediately. The downside is they're so thin. They're so thin. So I have to very carefully use them. I try not to use them a lot, but they're so beautiful. So yeah, pulled the sun.
Love it. Do you want to define it for people who maybe don't know?
So the sun is basically success. Well, for this, I'm going to use this deck. This deck uses it, of course, as success and saying nothing can stop you. Go for it. Your future is very bright. So that's what this deck defines.
Okay, I just found the link to buy this beautiful deck. And I'm trying to convince myself I don't need it right now. Dude, I don't have enough disposable income to just buy myself a third tarot deck on a whim.
I mean, honestly, I can't even.
I can't count. A fourth tarot deck on a whim. And I just bought my 5th, but that's a gift for my mom. And Mom, if you're watching this live stream, don't look. I mean, she promised me that she wouldn't research the hints I'd given her, because I was like, do you want this type of art style because it's like it is bigger, or do you want this type of art style which I know you like better, but the cards are smaller? And I was like, you cannot search any of what I just said.
Yeah.
Said, it is for my mom. We live separately, so I can't steal her tarot deck. And I actually haven't. I mean, actually, there was one time where I used her cards because I did a reading for myself, and my cards were like really unhelpful for like the first time ever, and the first time like it's only been that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Screw this, Mom. Can I use your cards? And that gave me more help, but.
Oh, the Nouveau
Oh,
deck. Yeah.
yeah.
So her favorite one is Deco, and there is one called the Aquarius deck.
Yeah.
But it's like a mini deck, and it's like that big.
Mm.
So for context, like this is my face because I realized
Yeah.
holding it up closer makes it seem bigger. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think my mom can do that. I don't want to do that. I have better eyesight than her. So I was like,
I think my
hello. What's this deck? Okay, well, this is the deck that Grayson pulled. Do you want to show the sun again? Just
Sure.
so people can see it, because I think some
I'm
people
super
that
sorry.
after.
This is so shiny.
No, don't
It's so
apologize.
shiny.
The
It's
things we
okay.
do for beauty sometimes.
It's like I know I have like some lights going on right now, so it's just reflecting those lights.
But I mean, we can still see it and know that it's beautiful. So
High gloss. And it looks like some I can't even remember the word right now. It's a graphic design term where you have raised ink and gold foil question mark.
I think the sun is gold foil.
Nice.
And maybe the armor.
And the armor, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Love it.
Hey Maggie. Hello. Barrett
In position.
in. Someone has never seen
Embossed.
Buffy.
That is the word I was looking for.
Embossed. Okay. Was up late writing. Cool. Someone said they'd never seen Buffy.
Devin.
Ooh.
Why can't I see that? Oh, okay. I was like, where's the comment?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It has its moments.
I mean, there are certain episodes I don't like, and Joss Whedon is
problematic.
But
yeah.
I mean, he was problematic back then. We just didn't know it. But yeah, so. Yeah. Just keep resting.
Oh, hope you get some good rest.
And with that, let's jump into the next sprint. This is the last day to use this discount in my shop. So I have 2 PDF guides. I'm doing a pre-order for stickers with all the Scrivener keyboard shortcuts that I use as a novelist. I left out some of the ones that you would use if you're like writing your thesis in it. But I have a Mac version and a Windows version. So if I get enough people to pre-order, then I can get them printed and shipped out. And then I have my signed paperbacks if you live in the US or Canada, and then a signed nameplate if you don't live there. Yeah, so in 3, 2, 1, happy productivity, everyone. How did people do?
Pretty good. I did a little bit of crocheting, eating some Pop-Tarts, and answering some emails.
Cool.
More working on my comic, my 6-pager, which is going to take some time.
Is it taking longer than you expected, or are you pretty good at estimating?
I'm trying a new technique, so it's taking a little longer than usual, but it'll pan out in the end.
Cool.
Yawn.
So I finished the research for the prices, and now I'm just filling in some formulas, which is easy for me, but it's still time consuming. Yeah. So let's
A whole bunch of people popped in while we were sprinting.
Yeah. Kelly, Morgan, Charlie, hi. Maggie, I think you were here earlier. If not, welcome. Paget, hi. Debria, hi. And okay, Grayson answered Charlie in the chat that making a beanie. Excuse me. And I've seen people's updates, but I want to get started on the final sprint so I don't have to do like a full 3-hour stream. So I can stretch my back and stuff. But okay, now a lot of people are in the room. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. This is our final sprint, and this is my podcast with Kelly Wright. A new episode is dropping in 5 hours. Shoot. Sako, do you want to pull a card? I knew I was forgetting something. Sako, do you want to pull a tarot card?
It's in the private chat.
Oh, it's not showing up? Oh, now it showed up. Okay, it took a bit. Sorry, I forgot about the tarot card.
It's fine.
Anyway, how did people do?
I actually worked on my tarot book.
Woo!
Nice. I answered more emails and did more crocheting.
What did I do? Oh, I decided that like my publishing company was going to publish more books, so I had to fix the 2 of the sheets in the spreadsheet to reflect that. And then I was trying to figure out like how many people would be working at the company for the first 5 years.
Oh wow.
I have to do like a ton of stuff, and I'm just doing what I can on my own. And then she'll either be like, "This is wrong. We're going to correct it," about what I did, and then also help me with the things I can't figure out.
Right.
Because that's going to start next week, one-on-one meetings with her. So that'll give me 4 weeks to work one-on-one with her.
Cool.
Nice.
Gotcha. I write all my stuff in third person limited.
Me too.
2 points of view, but the book I just finished is 1 point of view, and that's first person. But my next book, which is also 1 point of view, I started writing it in third limited, and I like it that way. So I think it kind of depends on the story. I don't think it's only dependent on the number of point of views. And like I've read a lot of romances where it is multiple point of view and it's all first person.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I'm like, oh, I read the chapter name, so I know which head I'm in, but then also like pretty quickly the context is clear. But I don't know. I feel like when there are multiple, I prefer third. So
Me
you
too.
have the person and there's no confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, I mean, sometimes.
Theoretically.
Yeah, sometimes there still is. But hello. So that was our final sprint. Would you both like to do your outros?
Sure. Howdy neighbors, I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voight. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those 3 things. If you are interested in videos that pertain to marketing for authors, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel, Sako Toomey, Cass Voight. And it's not just me talking, it's people like Barrett Laurie and Lisa Daly and a bunch of other awesome AuthorTubers that have something to say on the topic. So you should drop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Yeah.
What it do, everybody? My name is Grayson Wild, and I write with pride. I like diving into fantasies and warm mugs of coffee. Right now, I am currently writing my fantasy, and I will be starting to ever so slowly add content, which is mostly going to be with Inkspill. We're going to be trying to... I think we're starting with the Chaos, 10K Chaos stream sometime this month. Sometime this month. I said 10K, I meant 10 hour. Let me correct that. 10 hour.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing that sometime this month. I'll be sure to put it on Instagram whenever we get that finalized. So also, thank you for having me here.
Of course. Lovely to have both of you. Actually, all 3 of our Ko-fi links are down below, and you can get to their other social media from there. I think there are some new people maybe in this stream. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the self-published author of 6 books, a young adult paranormal romance trilogy, and a new adult sci-fi romance trilogy, All of these are available to buy at my Ko-fi store, which is, you just go to my Ko-fi link and click on the store. If you live in the US or Canada, if you live internationally, you have to buy a signed nameplate unless you are part of my VIP club tier for $8 a month, because in your 4th month, I will ship you a physical book of your choice wherever you are in the world. I have 2 other tiers below that. They all have different perks. And I am the co-creator of the Writish podcast with Kelly Wright. That is linked down below. We talk about anything and everything related to being an author, which includes being a person who needs to physically take care of themselves and mental health. And it doesn't matter if you are outlining, writing, revising. We haven't touched editing yet. And then it's good for if you're going for traditional publishing or indie publishing, doesn't matter. So be sure to check us out. In 4.5 hours, our episode with the social media director of Little Brown Books is going to be going live. So be sure to check that out. Last week, I interviewed a cardiologist who is also a crime and thriller author who has advised on some pretty big TV shows about, like, that's not how someone would die type of stuff. He has a lovely Southern drawl, so you can check that out. So 20 episodes are posted later today. That number will go up. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. Time zones exist and are a headache, but wherever you are, hope you have a good rest of your fill in the blank. Love you. Hope to see you at a future sprint, and bye.